Is Eminem still relevant to today's generation? By no means is Eminem a guy that needs introduction. His music has received a lot of praise, but as of recent times, the hip-hop community hasn't been too accepting of his latest music. And that's probably because no one, including himself, has been able to match the highs that he himself set, and his influence has inspired a lot of corny copycats. But anyway, today we'll be reviewing his Marshall Mathers LP 23 years later. So yeah, let's discuss it track by track.
He does not give a fuck what you think. If you don't like it, you can suck his fucking cock.
Public service announcement is really nostalgic just hearing these really vulgar openings for an album. Like his last public service announcement, Eminem is very satirical. He pokes fun of how the media portrays him, and he gives you this very unfiltered version of what to expect for this album.
Bitch, I'ma kill you. You don't wanna fuck with me. Girls need you ain't nothing but a slut to me. Bitch, I'ma kill you.
Now, as you can clearly see why a lot of adults didn't want their kids or the younger generation listening to M's music, but you can only shelter them for so long. M has a really dark and twisted sense of humor. The track is filled with vulgar and violent lyrics over this really menacing beat, basically telling everyone what's going on in his fucked up head in a very satirical way. I don't think anyone should take M literal on this track because it's obvious fucking satire, and if you do take this literally, shame on you. The track opens up very eerie and chilling. M's delivery is a mixture of anger, sarcasm, and a bit of urgency. He's notorious for shock value and does not shy away from it here. He explores dark aspects through intricate rhyme schemes and wordplay about violence, mental instability, and relationship problems. So you can clearly see why people say M is very provocative, but it's classic M and it's a classic track. Because of tracks like this, M is considered one of the greatest, if not the greatest. I've heard this track 100 times, so have you. We both know why it's great. It's one of the best examples of storytelling. So when you see M's new music being heavily criticized for not being on this same level, you can understand why. But at the same time, I think we as fans put these expectations on artists who, for M, are 30 years into their career, expecting them to match their peak potential like this, which just really isn't going to happen. M's longevity has been great. Few artists will ever really reach the highs that M has reached or have the influence that he has reached, and I think we take that for granted sometimes, so maybe we should give people their flowers a bit more often. But yeah, M's performance on this track is nothing short of amazing, fucking extraordinary if I do say so. The track is basically about this fan who has a parasocial relationship with Eminem, and with each verse you get into the mental state of this fan, which eventually ends in tragedy. It's a great fucking track. If you haven't somehow heard this track, go listen to it.
I don't do black music, I don't do white music. I make fight music for high school kids. Put lives at risk.
I mean, any song that comes after Stan would be a drop in quality, but on this track, the hook, like most Eminem songs, is the weakest part. It's repetitive in an annoying way, it's half-assed, and it's just generally hard to listen to. The track is introspective and it observes the complexities that arise with M's rapid success. One of the good things though is that M is very self-aware on this track. He comments on how his music is received by the media and how it's usually portrayed, and he accepts the consequences that comes with it. But the production isn't anything special. The hook, like I said, was very lackluster, and the track is just generally kinda boring.
Me and I am whatever you say I am. If I wasn't, then why would I say I am?
Now this is the Eminem that we typically get on most tracks. It's just an angry, frustrated M whose problem can range anywhere from a fan asking for a picture while he's with his kid, or the media making him the poster boy for school shootings. He's gonna be equally as angry rapping about both situations, but who can really blame him, because at the end of the day, not much people has received the spotlight that M has received, and those who do typically crack. Look at Britney. The track starts off with a beat that's immediately confrontational, accompanied by your very typical angry M, while he discusses the criticism that he's faced, as well as the music industry and his battle with fame. I mean, it is another hit record, just keep in mind that not all hit records are made the same.
May I have your attention, please? Will the real Slim Shady please stand up?
Now, this song was peak Eminem authenticity. It's a huge fuck you to the media. It's, I'm doing my own shit. I don't care however you paint me. I'm going to be real to me. And he does all of this while still sending shots to other celebrities like Christina Aguilera and Will Smith. And it ties in perfectly with the last track. And yes, I did shit on M's hook. However, this is an exception. M's delivery on this track is kinda mischievous, very unfiltered, and I might even say quirky, but generally very fun. The wordplay and lyricism on this track is goated. It's filled with pop culture references and jabs at celebrities, accompanied by this great fucking music video that's just all rounded fucking amazing. I think up until this point, this is probably the weakest track on this album. The features were fine, RBX and Little Fingaz were decent. They fit the vibe of the track well, and the rapping ability is there. I just generally don't find this track appealing. Not the hook, not the lyrics, not the beat. I'm Back is another weak track, very bland, with nothing really going for it and all the shortcomings of the previous track. And the subject matters are all the same thing that he has addressed in better ways on this exact same fucking album. So I have no idea why he would include songs like this that just don't build into anything. At this point in the album, it's becoming very bothersome to continue listening, so let me do you the favor of summarizing the next few tracks, because when M is bumming, he's really bumming. The Marshall Mathers title track is a 2-pack of ass, nothing redeemable, rather get fucked in the ass by Magic Johnson. Drug Ballad is another weaker track, but some of M's weakest tracks are other artists' biggest hits, if you know what I mean. The track is pretty self-explanatory, drug use, who would have thought, but I've just been spoiled with so much great songs so far that these just don't hit the same. Bizarre's contribution here was a bit fucking much. Like, who starts a conversation just talking about trying to eat your mama's pussy? That's just fucking weird. And then you're trying to fuck your cousin. I mean, if she's a 10, I could understand. Not really impressed by anyone's verse. Entire track was kind of ass, to be honest. And with features like this, that's like incredibly disappointing. Imagine the reaction a record label would have if you go into their office and you presented Kim as the single for your album. You would have the police called on you immediately and escorted out the building. For those of you that somehow don't know, Kim is M's ex-wife, and let's just say they didn't have the best relationship. It would be something similar to Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, just a lot more poor, a lot less sex appeal, probably the same level of drug use though. As far as the track goes, if you hate your wife, this is probably the track for you. The track portrays a failing relationship that's plagued with jealousy, abuse, and anger. Through this persona, M is incredibly graphic and vulgar through his lyrics that can be a bit disturbing to some listeners. And his yelling delivery paired with this production creates a very intense and engaging listening experience all the way through. Fun fact, this song is actually a prequel to 97 Bonnie and Clyde.
So you can suck my dick if you don't like my shit.
On Under the Influence, we move on from incest to bestiality. And I gotta say, some of the features on this album just don't hit at all. I know D12 still has a lot of fans, but this track just doesn't showcase any of that value. There's just a lot of shock value lyrics here, there's no real subject matter. I guess it's just carefree. No one tries to keep this track on track. I just really am not impressed.
What's on my mind? I guess I'm a criminal. I don't gotta say a word. I just split in the bird and keep going. I don't take shit.
Criminal sounds a bit chaotic and unsettling. M just comes off with this Dennis the Menace vibes. Just like a real troublemaker looking for a reaction. Again with the hook, it's just M yelling criminal repeatedly in the most annoying way as possible that I just wish I could just reach through the screen and strangle him. It just makes me so frustrated, like a younger sibling who teases you and you just can't beat the shit out of them because your parents are nearby. But yeah, weak track. So yeah, this album, it's a 7. M showcases his fucked up sense of humor, very violent lyrics, some provocative think pieces, and some emotional awareness. On the album, M addresses a lot of the beef that he has with different people, like his mom, his ex, the media, celebrities, and the list just goes on and on and on. But just keep in mind, a lot of these things are exaggerated. This is just M's alter ego. I think you would have to be very dense to believe that M is doing these things in a literal sense. In modern day media, a lot of this shit wouldn't fly, like the misogynistic lyrics, although hip-hop is literally rooted in misogyny. Different topic for a different day. But the homophobia, glorification of violence, and again, the list goes on. But for what it's worth, the album is still a classic. M's pen game is 1 in a million, his technical rapping ability is god tier, but his hooks are his downfall. But you can still walk away from this album with a few standouts like Stan, The Real Slim Shady, and Kim. But like I said earlier, some of the features here were just incredibly disappointing, with a few exceptions here and there, and a couple of tracks that should have been cut. However, the album just has these highs that are just way too high to really compete with. M is just suffering from success at this point. But hey, if you agree with me, you disagree with me, let me know in the comments below. Just form your own opinion, links are in the description, and thanks very much for watching. Bye.